This is Alicia. I am a partner here at Fourlane. I'm excited to talk to you today about why you need to know about KPIs. Thank you so much for joining us today for our weekly webinar. If you missed any of our previous videos, you can always find them on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Fourlane. Remember to subscribe so you can get notified when new videos come out. You can also connect to us via our Fourlane Facebook group at Fourlane QuickBooks Enterprise. You can also connect to your peers here as well, and also some of our staff. As always, I want to mention our Fourlane OnDemand Support service we offer to our clients. This service is only $25 per QuickBooks user per month for up to 5 users. After those 5 users, it drops to $20 per month per user for 6 or more users. As a former controller, I did everything I could not to have to wait on hold when I called support because I knew my time is valuable. Knowing our clients' time is very valuable, we wanted to offer an alternative solution for on-demand support. Once you become part of our on-demand support client base, you will be able to access one of our experts directly. Okay. What is a KPI? Why is this so important? Why are we even talking about this today? Well, at Fourlane, we offer more than just QuickBooks setup and support. We also offer CFO services, creating, updating KPIs, monthly financial reviews, quarterly financial reviews, annual financial reviews, and much, much more. One of the things that makes us so unique is knowing accounting and systems. So today I want to talk to you about the accounting side of our business. We are going to focus on KPIs and why it's so important for you to know. A KPI report is a business performance tool that effectively visualizes key performance indicators. Companies use these reports to track progress against their targets and goals to improve performance. A KPI report will typically contain a mixture of charts, graphs, and tables. You can think of it as targets for teams to shoot for, milestones to gauge progress, and insights that help people across the organization make better business decisions. From finance to HR to marketing and sales, key performance indicators help every area of the business move forward at a strategic level. A lot of people tell me they get confused between a KPI, a metric, and a dashboard. So how do you know the difference between a KPI, a metric, and a dashboard? Well, let's talk about the difference between these three. It definitely can be confusing. KPIs help you stay focused on the overall business objective or goals. They focus on analytical interpretations of the underlying measures. Again, using graphs and tables. Most common table is pivot tables that support the business decision-making process. Metrics. Metrics can be equally important to an organization, just as KPIs are. Metrics offer a way to measure the health of business activities. For example, a metric that measures the defects in an assembly line can quickly alert the company when there's a problem. It's very, very apparent there is a problem in our numbers. Or that metric can be used to analyze the performance of different production lines over a period of time. Another good example of a metric is individual leads generated from different channels. At the end of the day, metrics are just numbers that are used to report on. A dashboard. Dashboard seems to be the buzzword. It's the new buzzword. So what is a dashboard? It's primarily a visualization tool, a pretty chart or a graph that provides real-time performance of KPIs and metrics. It's something that can be viewed at a glance. You could say it's a summary of data in a visual view. I can quickly see where my numbers are on the dashboard. A KPI report is usually where the analysis takes place. What makes up those KPI numbers? Why are there fluctuations in the data points? What caused this to happen? These are all questions that are addressed by digging into historical data. Most KPIs are reviewed at the leadership level, maybe weekly, monthly, quarterly, or even annually. And maybe all of the above. At Fourlane, we review our KPIs at the leadership, at the department, and at the staff level, weekly, quarterly, and annually. This gives us the ability to analyze and identify if we're on track or are we off track based on our business goals, our individual goals, our department goals. Everybody knows where they are at all times. How do you even begin creating a KPI report? Well, it starts with making sure you understand the definition. Hopefully, as we just discussed, we can understand the definition. Now let's start understanding which type of KPI reports fit best for your organization. There's 3 types of KPI reports: analytical, operational, and strategic. Analytical reports provide details behind the KPIs. They can be used across all areas of the business. These reports are designed to answer questions arising from highs and lows within the data set. A static version of this report will typically show historical values, while interactive reports allow users to investigate the data by breaking down the individual metrics dynamically. Operational reports are focused on the day-to-day activities of an organization. They provide information to those involved in the activities to help make the business decisions or to determine if action should be taken. For example, in the finance department, a report covering one of the 5 efficiency ratios or the asset management ratio may be used to identify the average collection period. Could be something we do on a monthly basis. Strategic reports. These are intended to provide a clear and meaningful picture of a business's health and help identify which direction is it heading. Positive, hopefully not negative, but this report will help us see that. These reports show the owners and shareholders, board members, how the company is performing against the goals and the business objectives. Okay. Now that we know the types of the KPI reports, let's talk about how do we even create it, right? Seems like massive undertaking. Well, we're going to try to break it into 5 very simple steps. We're going to start off by creating the objective. One way to start this process of identifying what is the objective, let's ask ourselves some questions. What's the goal? What am I trying to do here? What is the purpose of the reports? Who will be reviewing this data? Who's going to get this? Am I going to send it to everybody in the company? A certain group? How's the report going to be used? Is it going to be analytical? Is it going to be operational? Maybe strategic? And how often do we need to review this data? How often does it need to be dispersed? If we can answer these questions, this will build our objective of the KPIs and allow us to focus on answering these questions. This is something, this next part that I'm about to say, this is something that we ask ourselves all the time. If we're veering off the path because we keep adding additional reports, we've got all this data, all these metrics, right? Are we veering off the path of our objective? Because if we are, we do not need that data. It is a nice to have, but it's not part of our KPIs. Okay? Now let's go define the KPIs. Once the overall objective has been established, right, which we just did, now you have a good idea about the metrics you need. KPIs need to answer questions such as, how well is the sales team performing? Are they meeting their goals? Is the company growth on track? Is it on target? Getting the data that fuels these KPIs can be the very tricky part. But we need to determine, does the data currently exist? How long? This is something my clients ask all the time. Alicia, how long is it going to take me to gather this data? I don't have time to manually go do this. I don't have time to add more work to my team. Can I automate this? What about, is the data even reliable? How confident do I feel about this data, right? You know, if we get data from our online portal, our web store, we should feel very confident about that data. We should feel 100% confident about that data. What about the data in our QuickBooks file? Some of my clients tell me, I don't feel that confident about it. Well, first of all, they definitely came to the right place when they are talking to Fourlane, but we need to make them feel confident about the data. that they're using. You have to have that confidence, okay? So the goal of defining the KPIs is identifying what reports are going to make the cut. What reports are going to be in this package, right? Next, we want to present our KPIs. So we got to go figure out, what is it going to look like? What chart am I going to pick? What graph? Am I going to put it in a pivot table? What is it going to look like to present this information in the simplest possible way? And I really, really, really want to stress the simplest way. If you show me a bunch of data, if I show my clients a bunch of data and it's, you know, really pretty, got lots of colors, but if it's too complicated, it doesn't mean anything to me. So we want to keep our charts relevant and focused on providing the answers to our objective very clearly. We also want to make sure that we keep them in logical order. We want to keep the flow of the information going. We want the storytelling to flow properly. We wouldn't want to present the conversion leads to accounts, right? So our conversion lead ratio, then go in to talk about our fixed asset ratio. Then our next report is going to show current ratio. And then maybe we'll just move into inventory turnover. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I thought we were starting off with sales and now you're showing me inventory. And then somewhere in between was a bunch of numbers. That would be really complicated. We want it to be smooth. And always remember, keep in mind, focus on telling the story of the business and how it's doing. You should always build a rough draft first. At Fourlane, when we do this, we always call it a V1, right? Version 1. We know a version 1 is a rough draft. You have to start with a rough draft and start using it, right? You're never going to know. It's never going to be perfect our first time around. But we're going to start using it and we're going to get some feedback. And the best way to make the reports as the best that they can be, right? Provide a single point of feedback, right? A single point of contact. Have one person that owns the distribution of those reports. It is their job to gather all the feedback, make them responsible for making the adjustments, and make them responsible for determining, is this feedback that I need? Is this feedback going to meet my objective? If it's not, thank you for the feedback, but we are not going to incorporate it into our final package, right? So when we make those adjustments in a timely manner, it's going to get us to a consensus faster. It is going to lead us to our final reports. So just like any other business process, reports need to be adjusted. They need to be evolved. You have to keep them efficient, right? We've got to develop a regular review process to keep the data relevant. You've got to keep it up to date. We are always asking ourselves in Fourlane, right? Is this the right data? Should we be looking at this? Maybe we shouldn't be. Maybe we're not looking at the right numbers. You have to ask those questions to yourself on a regular basis. You got to stay open to hearing that, right? If you're at the leadership team and someone brings up, is this the right metric? Is this the right report? Is this the right dashboard? Is this the right number? Is this our business objective? Any of those things. You have to be open to listening to that. As your business changes And a lot of us business owners, staff at businesses, right? Partners, we've gone through a lot over the last couple of years, and we've had to evolve and we've had to change. So as your business changes, so do your objectives and our goals. So what's important to us today may not be important to us tomorrow. So stay open, continue to review, and continue to make sure that you're updating it. The minute that you feel that your data is not giving you what you are currently doing, you've got to make that modification. Okay. I hope that everybody is ready to go prepare their KPIs. Maybe they want to modify your KPIs, or maybe you need help deciding what goes into your KPIs. We are always here to help, regardless if it's giving direction, consulting, preparing, whatever we can do so that our clients have the data they need to make good business decisions. Okay. Again, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you were able to gain some additional insight into why KPIs are so important and how you can truly create those on your own and meet your business needs and objectives. We will see you again. Thank you.